My mom used to tell me everything has a spirit of happiness, stealing, fornication, and whatnot. And I actually believe her, which is why in this video, I'm going to be talking about the spirit of death, spelled DEBT. It's not debt. Don't go and see debt outside. It's called debt. Good. So I'm going to be telling you guys how I freed myself. This is testimony time.
PM. Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
I'm going to be giving you guys my testimony on how I freed myself or how I emancipated myself from the shackles and bondage of death. So you guys know Pampe Abi? It's not what you think. Don't worry, let me land. You guys know Pampe now. So initially, the main reason I downloaded Pampe was because of the zero transfer charge, the coupon you get when you want to buy airtime or data, whatever. Then they introduced their lending platform. That's where you borrow money from them. I didn't actually well, technically I borrowed money from them because I was always borrowing data and airtime to pay. Then I'll now pay back. And the funny thing is that it's not as if I didn't have the money, because now that I'm even thinking about it, since I already had the money to buy the data or the airtime, why didn't I just pay from my bank account?
Go and ask your grandfather.
Why did I have to? That's one thing about the spirit of debt, because once you start, it will be very, 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 very hard to stop. Honestly, whatever it is you're borrowing, whether it's clothes, whether it's money, once you start, it will be very, very hard to stop. So let me continue my gist.
Very good.
So I started borrowing airtime and data, particularly data. I started borrowing data from Pampe. It actually started with 500 naira because I said, okay, I don't like borrowing, because normally I don't like borrowing. So the least amount I will borrow from Pampe is 500 naira. And since it's 500 naira now, I'll be buying their 2.5 gig, the 2.5 gig bundle. So I'll buy it after that same day. Funny enough, to show you how stupid I was.
You are very, very, very big idiot. You know the meaning of big idiot?
That same day, I will still pay back the 500 naira. So why didn't I just buy from my account? It started getting, and one thing about Pampe, to show you that I was their loyal customer, I know how their services are, I know how everything is. For example, if you borrow money, I don't know about the money sha, but if you borrow airtime from Pampe, let's say October 1st, you have until October 16th to pay manually. Then if by October 16th you don't pay manually, they will automatically deduct the money from your account. Then if you don't have up to that in your account, that's when they'll start calling you and telling you to pay. Ah God, I know what this is. That's when they start calling you and telling you to pay. So it first started with 500 naira. There's this pidgin proverb. Now from clap, it take the entire dance. It first started with 500 naira. I'll borrow, I'll pay back. I'll borrow, then I'll pay back that same day. Before you know, I'll be like, Shebi is just, Shebi I still have how many days to pay back? I'll wait until like 2 days. I'll wait until like 3 days. Or more, before you know, Pampe people started calling me to pay them their money. How much? Funny enough, then. So after the 500 naira now, the fact that I had this mentality that I was not buying the data with my money. So because of that, I used my data anyhow. Because okay, now if my data finish, I will go and borrow from Pampe. It got to the point that I can finish like 5. Is 5 gig too much? But it got to the point that I could finish like 5 gig in one day. And then that same day, I would go and buy data, or I'll go and borrow airtime from Pampe. The time I knew that it was getting out of hand was when I was at the market. And funny enough, then I was not even really boxed up. So that money really, really paid me. And that's another thing about debt. Once you borrow, especially when you borrowed the money for something you don't really need. Once you borrow, when it's sweet to borrow, but when it's time to pay back, it's not sweet. I said to God, it's not sweet. So that day I was at the market, and then I got a call from a number. The funny thing is that I really expected that they were the ones calling me. So that is how I picked the call. Hello, am I speaking with Austin Favor? I said, yes, you are. Who is this, please? I'm a Pampi agent. This is that your bill of 11,000 naira is due. 11,000 naira care. In my mind, I was thinking there must be a mix-up because why would I be owing Pampe 11,000 naira? I said 11,000 naira. They said yes, your bill is 7. Please, you've all those they are talk. And I said, all right, then I'm going to send the money now. So immediately after the call, I said, let me check if I'm really owing these people 11,000 naira. Lo and behold, I was actually owing 11 point something. So let's just say I was owing them 11,100 total. Kai, Jesus Christ, this thing pain me. Imagine me removing 11,000 naira just to pay data for something that. And what the funny thing is that as I'm removing it small, 500, 1,000, 115, I will not notice it. I was not noticing it. So that was when it just struck me that no, this is actually getting out of hand. I have been chained by the spirit of death, borrowing money from Pampi. And the annoying thing is that it's not as if I did not have the money in my account. I had the money in my account. So there was no reason, it made no sense to be borrowing money from Pampi. So that is how I just closed my eye. I just closed my eye because I said to God that I was not really woke up. So I closed my eye. I now sent the money to Pampi. Immediately, they wiped it from my account, and then I just had to delete the app. I didn't delete my account with Pampi. I just deleted the app because I know that if I had left the app like that, by now I would still be owing Pampi. So it was. I won't say it was a tough decision to make. I just had this epiphany, honestly. So I was like, no, this is not me. This is not me. I'm better than this. So that is how I now deleted the Pampi. I deleted the app. And honestly, since then, I've just been feeling way better. I don't know. There's this thing about debt, especially when you borrowed the money for something you don't need. You know, there's a difference between want and need. Want is something you can do without. Need is something that you actually need. So if you actually borrow money for something you need, that's understandable. But that's one thing about debt. Once you pay the money back, you start having the urge to be borrowing money. You find yourself in debt for things that you can't even take account for, being an account of, but you get what I'm saying, Sha? So that is how I've got free. Thank you, Jesus. Glory be to God. Yes, guys, that's my testimony. It wasn't easy, and even you can even see this case with MTN. Most people that borrow from MTN, I was a victim too. It's very hard to stop because once you pay the money, they'll take it back. So if they take it back, which money will you now use to buy your airtime or your data, anyhow you guys pronounce it? You will still borrow again. And the annoying thing, not even funny thing, the annoying thing is that when MTN borrows whatever amount they give you, you're not getting the full amount. You are getting just the way they used to calculate it. If you borrow 100 naira, they'll take 15 naira, then they will now give you the remaining amount. But when you're now paying back, you're paying back the full 100 naira. So it does not even really make sense, I beg. But thank God I've been free from the shackles of debt, and I really pray that I will never ever find myself in that situation again. And I thank God for life. So that is the end of my gist, guys. That's the end of my testimony.
Clap up for Jesus! Clap up for Jesus!